there, and welcome to the Draw Along Show. I'm your host, Kyle T. Webster, and I'm glad that you're here today with us. Remember, all ages, all skill levels are welcome at the Draw Along Show, where we do a step-by-step drawing to kick things off. Usually takes about 10 minutes, and voila, you have a finished drawing you can show your friends and brag about. And today we're going to do a little Kawaii drawing as our middle section of the show. It's always something different in the middle of the show, so we're going to talk about Kawaii and drawing cute things. And then we're going to finish with the old animal and activity game, where you suggest for me an animal doing something funny or strange or unexpected or bizarre. Now, when I say you suggest this for me, what I mean is you write it in the chat at behance.net/Adobe Live. Okay? That is where I'm following the chat. So if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter or elsewhere, remember that if you want to interact with me, if you want to make suggestions or ask questions or just say hello, head on over to behance.net/Adobe Live. Okay, let's say hi to some folks. Afroha, how you doing? Nice to see you. Steve and RB are here as well. Mercurial, hello. And I see Sam is also joining us, and we have some other folks coming in as we speak. So it's time to get the show on the road. I hope that everybody out there is staying healthy. You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But I do have a question for you. What happens when you put an Apple iPhone in a blender? You get apple juice. I'm so sorry, gang. It's always a bad joke, isn't it? It never gets better, but, you know, you put up with it, so I appreciate that. Maybe we should do some drawing instead of trying to kid around so much. So, to do these drawings, grab yourselves a pen, a pencil, a marker, a crayon, or something that you can make any kind of mark with. This could be a tire iron that you just dip in some grease and draw all over your parents' favorite carpet. Doesn't matter to me. Now, what you have to be able to do to follow along is three simple things: a straight line, a zigzag, or a curvilinear line. See that? That's an S curve. This is a C curve. Could be like this. Could be a shallow C curve. You can do these things, which means you can draw. So, to kick things off today, we're going to do a little curvilinear line. It is going to be a shallow C curve. And it's going to go this way. Okay? Now, if you're right-handed and you find it's easier to start from the left, you can reverse it, but here you go. Woo. That is the beginning of our drawing. Now check out that curve and look at it. It's pretty shallow, isn't it? Pretty shallow curve. All right. Next, we are going to do another. We're going to follow this exact same pattern and do it right here. Now notice that this line, okay, is tucked behind that line. All right, so we have this line and then this line. So it's connecting, right, up here. So we're leaving some overhang right there. That's important for this drawing. All right, next step. From here, we're going to draw downwards, roughly the same length as this, okay? Maybe a little shorter, but we're not going to draw straight down. Watch this. We're going to angle out about like that. Okay, check that out. We go bump, bump, angle down that way, okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is draw the longest line we've drawn so far, and we're going to aim for it to hit the middle of this line all the way down here, okay? So I'm trying to hit about the middle of this line all the way down here. And to do so, it's always helpful, I find, to give myself a little target. If you want, you can do this. You can make a little dot, something to aim for. So then I can just go like that. I can aim and hit that dot. That is the next step. All right? So listen, if your line happens to go this way or a little bit more inside that way, don't sweat it. This angle does not have to be perfect in this drawing. It is really not a big deal. Okay? So just keep that in mind. I want you to look at this line we drew here. And I want you to imagine that we're popping over here and we're going to mirror it. There's a difference between mirroring something and echoing something. We use these terms a lot when we talk about drawing. So let's imagine, don't draw this, I'm just going to demonstrate something. Here's a mirror. If I draw something like this, if I tell you to mirror it, I mean do that, okay? I'm doing the same thing, but I'm flipping it. That's what I mean by mirror. If I were to say echo, you would draw the same shape. That's the difference between mirroring something and echoing something. So here, because we're looking for some symmetry, we are going to mirror this line, okay? But we're not going to draw it all the way. Watch, we're going to draw part of it and stop for a minute and just leave that there, okay? That's important. We're going to come back down to this section of the drawing. Now, remember what I talked about with the middle of this line, how we wanted to line things up like that? Come on over to the middle of this line and drop down so you're at the same level as this and make yourself a little target right there. And all you're going to do is just connect the two like that. That's it. You're just connecting these two, okay? And just as we have this line here, we want to mirror that on this side. But again, we're not going to draw the entire line. We're going to stop about here, okay? So check it out. I'm going to draw it like this and leave it alone. Alrighty, this is what we've done so far. Everybody following along, and is everything okay? Now from here, we're going to do a C curve, okay? It's not going to be a deep C curve, but it's also not going to be too shallow. It's going to be something in the middle like that, okay? Just like that. All right, I know you all can do that. I'm confident. Now I want you to imagine that we're going to do this. We're going to draw a zig-zag, okay? But again, we're going to interrupt it. So imagine I'm going to do this zig-zag, but I'm going to stop, okay? Leave a little space here, and that's my zig, and my zag comes down there, okay, to connect right there. So it's a zig and a zag, only the middle part is missing, okay? And then from here, we're going to do another C curve, and this one is going to curve up and out like this. So I'm going to start it sort of on a horizontal, and then I'm going to curve it on up this way. Alrighty, so here we go. Start on a horizontal, curve it on up. All right. Any questions? Let's see. Rivaling Wade for speed. I'm not sure what that means. Rivaling Wade for speed. What does that mean? Winish is here. Hey, Winish, nice to see you. And Viola has joined us as well. Excellent. Alrighty. Now, carrying on. We're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to follow along, okay, but we're going to stop like this. We're going to come up and stop about there. So this one is longer than this one. See that? Now from here, at the top of this line, and zoom in so you can see this clearly, I'm going to draw a line at a slight angle like that. Notice how it overhangs from here, okay? And just underneath it, I'm going to draw a line that comes up and out this way. Check it out. There we go, like that. Okay, now I'm going to push that and let it overlap a little bit this line. I want to pull this out a little further like that. Okay, everybody with me so far? All right, now from here, another nice C curve. That's what we call a sharp one. See that? Sharp C curve, okay? And here we do a little dot like that. And look what we have happening here. Look what we have happening. Now here, watch this trick. Little dash, dot, dot. Okay, and that gives the impression of something coming out of that part of the apple there. All right, yes, that's an apple that we've drawn right there. Now, let's finish it out with some handy dandy details. Are you ready? Nice little C curve right here. Right? Really shallow. Shallow, shallow, shallow. And from this side, we're going to draw a line straight out like that. And then around it, we're going to draw a C curve that stops ahead of here and carries back down to the other side like that. Okay. Give yourself a little ground plane. Draw a line here and another one right behind it. Okay. And finally, this is a really fun part right here. We are going to draw a reflection. So watch how we do this. Little C curve like that. And another one to echo it. Remember the difference between echoing and mirroring. Here I draw a little line like this. Another. and then another like that. And there is our You Draw It for the day. What do you think, folks? How'd that work out for all of you? I hope that you liked that. I hope that worked for you. Just going to check really quickly and make sure that our connection is looking good. On my end, everything is just weird and crazy, but it says I have an excellent connection, so hopefully the show is going along beautifully for all of you. Remember, I had this problem last week with Behance, and I don't know what's causing it. But as long as you're able to see what I'm doing, then I'm a happy guy. Okay? All right, I'll just try refreshing, and we'll see if that works. Okay. What I get on my end, by the way, in case you're curious, is a frozen screen. So I see what I'm drawing, but nothing's moving. So hopefully when it comes to the animal and activity game, I'll be able to see your suggestions. It looks like the chat is working for me, so that's something. That makes me happy. All right, yep, I don't know. It keeps freezing up on me. Okay, so moving on, that is our You Draw It for the day. We'll slide our little apple worm over here. And we're gonna move on to some kawaii fun. What does that mean, kawaii? So this is anything that's sort of cute. It's a Japanese word. And we've done this once before in the show. It was many months ago, and I thought it'd be fun to reintroduce it. And you can make some suggestions for me if you wish in the chat for what you'd like me to draw. But the general idea is that you take any object and or thing, animal, could be anything. But for this, we're going to draw objects. Let's take, for example, an apple. And imagine that that object is just a little softer, a little rounder, a little plumper than usual, a little puffier, like a marshmallow version of the thing that you're drawing, okay? That's one way to think of it. And then you add a cute little face to it. And the face is so simple. It goes like this. It's C-curve, okay? And a dot on one side and a dot on the other. And that's all you need to do. Couldn't be simpler, okay? So while I've got that little face there, look, see this? I can just go like this and like that. And draw a little kawaii apple. Okay? That's an example of what we're talking about, okay? Cute little apple. Now, anything else you can think of? It could be, yeah, Hello Kitty's a good example of that, Harry. You're exactly right. That's exactly the kind of thing we're talking about. But anything else you could do, let's say, for example, think of a common object maybe that you might find in the kitchen, like a spoon. Believe it or not, you can take that spoon and you can just add that little face and suddenly it's kawaii spoon. Okay? Little reflections if you want. What else? A thumb, says Ruben. I don't know about thumb. A laptop. It's a very good idea. I like that one better. So here we go. Laptop. I'll draw this one at a little angle for you. And then we just pop it on back, over, and here we have our little keyboard. And a little trackpad. And there's that little face again. That's it. And you could do this all day. Any kind of little thing you want to draw that's cute and fun. You know, make it happen. Umbrella I just saw. Exactly. Now we're talking. Let's get that little umbrella. And there we go. And you know what comes next. There's our little face. By the way, I've seen people do this too, where they'll do like a more of sort of like a U shape for the mouth. Up to you how you want to do it. You know, make it a wider mouth, shorter mouth. The main thing is that the eyes are pretty much level with the top of that shape that you make. And that just seems to be what people like for whatever reason. So there you go. A cup of tea, says Carolyn. That's exactly the kind of thing that you would do. Exactly. So you just do this. Kind of make it a little puffier if I can than usual. I'm not sure if I'm honoring that part of the deal. But there you go. Little cup of tea. That's very much the idea right there. So give that a try. It's fun. They're also just fun to make little doodles of this kind of thing. And, you know, how cute can you make something? That's the question, right? Pretty cute if you add that little face. So it is time for us to move on to the animal and activity game. And those of you who've been on watching the show, you know what that means. It's time for you to suggest for me something. Oh, before we get to that, sorry, we have to do a little appreciation station. And so today we are appreciating our good friend Ruben. Ruben, I don't know if you remember, this was a long time ago, but you and I had an apple orchard. And the pests and the worms were destroying our apple crop. It was just, they were eating up everything on the trees. And I had completely given up and I had no new ideas for how to solve the problem. But you, as usual, put on your thinking cap. And you know what you did? You went to the barn, and on the barn wall, the outside, you painted an enormous mural of the most juicy, most perfect apple anybody had ever seen. It was photorealistic. It looked amazing. And all of these pests, all the bugs and all the worms came rushing over to that mural because they wanted to eat it so badly. But you know what you'd done? You had covered the whole thing with glue. So they all got stuck and they couldn't get back to our apple trees. So you saved the day, got rid of all those pests, and the rest of our apple crop was safe. Thank you for being an amazing artist and for thinking of that. So that was pretty clever. Back to drawing. All right. Yes, good thinking. I agree, Sam. I agree. Okay, so for the animal and activity game, can you please suggest for me an animal doing something funny, strange, weird, unexpected? You get the idea. And I will draw it in the time that we have remaining. Now let's take a look at what we've done in the past, just to get your creative juices flowing. We have done an owl playing a banjo. We've done a surfing monkey. We have done a koala dancing ballet. E.T. jumping rope. Yes, you can do dinosaurs or weird creatures like E.T. if you want. And a dragon barbecuing. That was last week. So yeah, let me see. What can you all come up with? While you're thinking about that, I'll grab my nice light blue color to sketch with. I like that. Looking good. And we can get cracking. So I will look for your suggestions in the chat. Just remember, please, that I am looking at the chat at behance.net/Adobe Live, not YouTube or Twitter. Even though if you're watching there, I appreciate you watching. Thank you. But if you have an animal suggestion, make sure you head over to Behance. We have a bat singing opera. Mercurial, that's a great one. I like that. A chihuahua arm wrestling and winning, says Steve. That would be unexpected. A chicken playing football from a Froha. A figure skating horse from RB. That's a tough one. A capybara at the salon, says Harry. I'm not quite sure how to draw one of those. They're giant rodents, right? A worm going to first day of school, says Viola. Oh, that's cute. An elephant jumping over the moon. Wow, that's a big jump, Alwyn. This community is my cup of tea, says Ruben. Sweet. I'm glad to hear it. And you're very welcome, Ruben. After all, you saved the day there with that clever thinking. So we have some great ideas here, and I have to really think. What are we going to do? I got to think. Tough. All right, let's see here. I don't know, this opera singing bat is pretty amazing, so I think I will do that. Hope you don't mind. All right, gang. Thank you for your fantastic suggestions. They're wonderful. Let's give it a try. So, a bat singing opera. All right, so it's going to have his bat ears. And then his little bat face. but he's going to be singing opera. Like that. There's our bat. Make him like a vampire bat because, you know, we're in October here, so. Now, should he be wearing some kind of a robe? Or do we just have his wings out? Let's see. Kind of like him just like this. I think he's kind of cute like that. Little tiny bat feet. I think you're going to have to make these wings look a little better. There we go. All right, I like the way that looks. That feels like the right kind of shapes to me. Those shapes feel pretty good. I'm gonna get the angle right for that ear. There we go. Okay, let's knock that back a little bit to 30%. I can still see it, and that'll be a great guide for me. And we have about 3 minutes left, so as always, it's a nice little race to the finish. But a sketch is so important because that's what gives me all the info I need to get it done. And we talked about this many times on the show. You don't have to follow the sketch exactly, but it really is there to help you, especially when you're racing the clock like we are here today, right? There we go. Got to attach those wings to the legs there. And finally, we just have that big note. And there you have it, folks. Hide the sketch. And we have our opera singing bat. That was a fun one, wasn't it? Cool suggestion. But as always, I liked all of your suggestions. They're all great. So thank you again. Well, okay, gang. There it is. Thank you for watching the Draw Along show. Remember, I'll be back at the same time tomorrow. We'll do more of the same, and I hope this is educational for all of you. Remember to tell your friends, bring a crowd so more of us can be drawing together and learning. I think we'll do a little bit of art vocab tomorrow. We haven't done that in a while, so that's a good thing to do. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and please remember to be kind. I'm going to say ciao for now.